Hello friends, in this lecture we will learn about later Vedic age. In the previous lecture we have seen that at the end of Rig Vedic age the 10th mandal was added to Rig Veda, and this 10th mandal created division in the society, and this division uh, changed into caste system in later Vedic age, and this caste system was very rigid and hereditary in later Vedic age. So class division of Rig Veda changed into caste division in later Vedic age. Also in later Vedic age, Gotra was introduced as the caste system become hereditary. Various positions also become hereditary, including Rajan, chief or king, and this led to the end of Vidhata assembly. As the Rajan get more power, he he dissolved the Vidhata assembly and restricted the role of Sabha and Samiti. In Rig Vedic period, Samiti was used for election of king, but in later Vedic age, the position of king was hereditary, so Samiti role was limited. Also the Sabha role. And in Rig Vedic age, women were uh, allowed to join Vidhata and Sabha assembly. But in later Vedic age, women were barred from attending Sabha, and Vidhata get dissolved. So women were not allowed in assemblies in later Vedic age. So and women's status deteriorated in later Vedic age. Uh, Women and Sudra were barred from Upnayan ceremony and reciting of Gayatri Mantra. You will find in Rig Vedic time that women were allowed for Upnayan ceremony, but in later Vedic age, women were not allowed. But still, we find some educated women in later Vedic age. Their name were Gargi, Matri, and Katyani. Another change in the society was in Rig Vedic age, cow was the wealth of Aryans. But in later Vedic age, territory or land become the wealth of Aryan people. And this gave rise to Janpad and Mahajanpad and also Rashtra because of land become the wealth of later Vedic people. Um, The main occupation shifted from cow rearing to agriculture. In Rig Vedic age, Aryans used the occupation was cow rearing, but in later Vedic age, they used to live settled life, and for that they start practicing agriculture. And the main agriculture produce of later Vedic age uh, were wheat, rice, and barley, and the rice is mentioned as Virhi in Vedas. In Rig Vedic age, only barley was used for agriculture produce, and the production of barley was done for fodder purposes to feed cattle and other animal. But in later Vedic age, people used to produce wheat, rice, and barley, and this is for human consumption. In Rig Vedic age, there was volunteer bali. People used to offer uh, gift to priest and king on volunteer basis. But in later Vedic age, there was fixed taxation system, and Vaisya or labor or Vaisya caste were the main taxpayer, and king and priest were used to enjoy on the tax paid by Vaisya caste. For tax collection, there was an officer known as Bhagdugha, and there was also treasurer department, and the officer of treasurer department was known as Sangriti. Like Rig Vedic age, there was no standing army in later Vedic age also. No change in army position. In later Vedic age, iron was discovered and iron was mentioned first time in Yajurved. Uh, in Yajurved and Atharved, you will find two terms, Lohitayas and Syam or Krishnayas. The Lohitayas term is used for copper and Syam or Krishnayas is for iron. And in later Vedic age, three more Vedas get compiled: Samved, Yajurved, and Atharved. The Samved has two division, Gana and Archika, and it is Veda of melodies and chant. Uh, it is musical representation of Rig Veda. Yajurved is divided into two parts, Krishna Yajurved and Sukla Yajurved, and it is Vedas of ritual or sacrifices. And Atharved is Veda of magic and charm spell. The earliest written Vedas, Rig Veda, Samved, and Yajurved, were collectively known as Vedatraya or three Ved. With the compilation of more Vedas, three more Vedas, ritual and sacrifices become more prominent in later Vedic age as compared to the Rig Vedic age. In Rig Ved, the word Aghanya was used for cow, and the meaning of the word Aghanya is not to kill. So it is used in Rig Ved to guide the people for not killing of cows. But in later Vedic text, the guest was known as Gogana, and the meaning of Gogana is one who was fed on cattle. So cow sacrifice started in later Vedic period, and the god different god emerged in later Vedic age, and they become more prominent than Rig Vedic gods. In Rig Vedic time, the prominent god were Varun, and Indra, Varun and Agni, but in later Vedic age, the prominent god were Brahma or Prajapati, and then Vishnu, protector of people, then Rudra, god of animal, and and in later Vedic age, people started idol worship. The Pusan, uh, Pusan, which were god of animal in Rig Vedic time, Pusan become god of Sudra in later Vedic age. The the yajna of Yajurved, Yajurved. There was three many yajna defined in Yajurved, but three main yajna performed by king are mentioned in this slide. That is Aswamedh yajna, Rajsu yajna, and Vajpayee yajna. In Aswamedh yajna, a horse was released uh, to travel in a territory, and if the horse enter into the territory of different king, then either that king has to accept the suzerainty of the king that has sent the horse, or he has to fight with the king that has sent the horse. So this was the way to prove the supremacy of king over other regional kings. The Rajsu Yagg, it is same as Asmed Yagg, but this was done at the coronation ceremony when the new king get appointed. In Vajpayee Yagg, Vajpayee Yagg was a chariot race yagg, and seven horses were used in the chariot, In this race, king also participate with other people, and he used to participate to prove his power, to prove he is more supreme than other than his other colleague. Aryan or Hindu text. So the Aryan text were divided into two parts. One is Shruti and other one is Smriti. Shruti meaning is what has been heard, and it what sagas heard it directly from God, and Smriti meaning is has been remembered. In Shruti, there is further two division. One is Agam, other one is Nigam. In Agam, we find Saivagam, Vaishnavagam, Saptagam, Buddhist Agam, and Jain Agam. In Nigam, we find Vedas, and in Smriti, we find Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puran, and Gita. Now, some people have doubt that Gita was directly told by Lord Krishna, but it was not told to any saga. It was told to it was told by Krishna to Arjun. So, and Arjun did not written down the Gita. Gita was written by someone else, so it was part of Smriti, not Shruti. Vedas. Uh, Veda is basically collection of mantra or samhita, and after written of Veda, various other texts were written down by different people, but some scholar collectively call different texts to as Vedas. So, but Veda is basically a collection of mantra samhita or hymns. So, and let's have a look on other scholars' views. Uh, and as per other scholars' view, Veda has four part. One is mantra samhita or hymns. Second one is Brahmana. Third one is Arnayaka, and fourth one is Upanishad. The first two, Mantra and Brahmana, are collectively known as Karmkand because it was more focused on rituals. In Mantra Samhita, only mantra were written, but in Brahmana, it was written down how to recite these mantra and how to perform the rituals. In the last two part, Arnayaka, there was commentary, and in Upanishad, philosophy was given by different people. And these two parts, Arnayaka and Upanishad, collectively known as Gyan Kand. So here is the table to so Veda corresponding Upved, Upanishad and Arnayak and priest. Uh, Now in Hindu religion, we call every priest as Brahman, but at the later Vedic age time, the priest there was a different kind of priest, not only Brahmana. So different priests have different responsibility. So for Rigved, the rituals and other things of Rigved were performed by Hotri priest. For Samved, it was Udaktari priest. For Yajurved, Adharyu priest, and for Atharved, Brahman priest. Upved, regarding Upved, it was written down in different time period, and it has uh, people has taken concept from Vedas to write down Upved. So in Ayurveda, you will find some concept of Rigved and also some concept of Samved. So some scholars say Ayurveda is Upved of both Rigved and Samved, but but most of the scholars consider Ayurveda as part of Rig Veda, as Ayurveda as Ayurveda as Ayurveda as the Upveda of Rig Veda. So for Rigved, there is Ayurved. Similarly, Gandharved. In Gandharved, we find melodies, songs, and other description. So scholars considered it as the Upved of Samved, but it was written in different time period, and the person who write down the Ved and the person who write down the Upved were different. So no direct connection, but some common content in Vedas and Upvedas. And for Yajurved, there is Dhanurved, and Dhanurved is for archery. And for Atharved, there is Upved, known as Silpved. Um, the important Upanishad were Jabal and Maitri Upanishad of Yajurved and Mundak Upanishad of Atharved. There are seven Arnayaks, and mm, just for information, there is no Arnayak for Atharved. We have seven Arnayaks for Rigved, Samved, and Yajurved, but no Arnayak for Atharved. So I listed important Upanishads. So why they were important, I will tell in this slide. Mundak Upanishad. It was part of Atharved, and the term Satyamev Jayate was mentioned in Mundak Upanishad. The term Satyamev Jayate was taken from Mundak Upanishad. Jabal Upanishad of Yajurved. In this Upanishad, we find description of Banaras, and the city was mentioned as Avimuktam. And also in Jabal Upanishad, we find four stages of life: Brahmachari, Grihast, Banprasth, and Sannyasi. These are the four stages of life mentioned in Jabal Upanishad. In Maitri Upanishad of Yajurved, it was written down in later Vedic age, or probably it was probably post uh, it was a post Buddhist text. And so in Maitri Upanishad, uh, some theories of Buddhism was mentioned in Maitri Upanishad. In one Brahman, one Brahmana is important, and that one is Atre Brahmana of Rigved. Although it was part of Rigved, but it was written in later Vedic age. And in that Brahmana, uh, it was written down that daughter is a source of sorrow. So you can see how the position of woman deteriorated in later Vedic age. We have seen Vedas classification, and some Upanishad and Brahmana. Now let's have a look on Vedang. Vedangs are supportive documents for Vedas. This is for study and understanding of Vedas. And there are six Vedans. First one is Siksha, also known in English it is known as phonetic. Second one is Kalp or ritual. Third one is Vyakran or grammar. Fourth is Nirkuts or explanation. Fifth is Chand, matrix. Sixth is Jyotishi or astrology. The Kalp part. The Kalp or ritual part is divided into two parts. Uh, First one is Srot Sutra, and the Srut Sutra is based on Shruti. Second one is Smart Sutra, and Smart Sutra is its rules are based on Smriti. The Srut Sutra, the one important text of Srut Sutra is Sulabh Sutra. And in Sulabh Sutra, we find geometry of fire altars that were used for rituals. And is in Samar Sutra, there is two division. One is Griha Sutra, that is for domestic rule, how to live domestic life, and second one is Dharm Sutra, which define how to live social life. And Panini has written down Ashtadhyayi, a Sanskrit grammar book, around 5000 BC. And it, to learn Veda, it is important to learn Sanskrit grammar. So, uh, Ashtadhyayi of Panini is very important for understanding Vedas. Vedas and philosophy. With the compilation of Veda, different philosophy emerged from Veda. One is those who accepted the Veda as primary source of knowledge, and after some time, different scholars came who rejected or questioned the Vedas as primary source of knowledge. So the one who accepted Veda as primary source of knowledge are known as orthodox or astic Indian school of philosophy, and the one who rejected Vedas as primary source of knowledge are known as heterodox, Gnostic, or Sramana tradition. The Orthodox is further divided into two: the atheist and theist. The atheists were who rejected the theory of God. They they accepted content of Vedas, but they rejected Varun, uh, Indra, Varun, and other god, but accepted other important information of Vedas as primary source of knowledge. And in these atheist classification, you find samyak, you find samkhya. Samkhya in English, no, its meaning is number, but in Sanskrit we call it samkhya, or in Hindi it's sankhya. It is a school of dualism. In this philosophy, um, it defined two different aspects: soul and matter, or prakriti. So this is called dualism, two different things. And the Samkhya philosophy was the founder of Samkhya philosophy was Kapila. Second, second school of atheist was Nyaya, and it is also known as school of logic. Um, they used to find logic in everything, and its founder was Gautama. Third philosophy of atheist branch, third philosophy of atheist branch is Vas- Vaisesika, and it is based on empiricism, and they gave the concept that everything is made of atom, even the universe is made up of atom. The founder of this philosophy is Kanada Kasyapa. The theist branch of Astic, Astic Indian philosophy. In this in this branch, we find yoga, and its founder is Patanjali. We found Purumimamsa, and Purumimamsa is explanation is based on Karma Kanda of Veda, that is Mantra Samhita and Brahmana. The founder of Purumimamsa philosophy was Gemini. And the third one is Vedanta, also known as Uttar Mimamsa. It was based on Gyan Kand of Vedas, that is Arnayaka and Upanishad. In Vedanta school, we found philosophy of different scholars. The important ones are listed here. Advaita philosophy given by Adi Sankaracharya, and according to him, human and Brahma are same, and when people died, they become part of Brahma. Then later, uh, Ramanuj gave different philosophy, and it is known as Vishisht Devit. He said the individual and Brahma are not same; they are different. But a person can join the Brahma when he win over his desire. When he get control over his desire. So we have different identity, but we can get connected with Brahma after salvation or moksha. The third philosophy is given by Madhava, and this philosophy is known as Devita. And he told Brahma and individual person are two different entity, they are not connected. The fourth one is Davit Adavita, and it is given by Nimbarka. Uh, and according to him, Brahma is controller of everything. The fifth philosophy is the fifth philosophy is of Adavit, and it is given by Vallabhacharya, and it is almost same as Adavit Adavitavad of Adi Sankaracharya. The sixth one is given by Chetan, and it is known as Achintya Bheda Veda. Now let's have a look. Now let's have a look on heterodox or Gnostic school of Indian philosophy, also known as Sraman tradition. They rejected the Veda as primary source, and in this branch you will find Buddhism philosophy, and its founder is Gautam Buddha. Jainism philosophy founder Mahavir. Charvak philosophy. The Charvak philosophy is also known as school of materialism, and its founder is Brihaspati. He told that um, material as he gave more focus on materialism and materialistic pleasure. The another philosophy of heterodox school is Ajivaka, and Ajivaka under Ajivaka philosophy, uh, it Ajivaka philosophy is given by Makhali Gosla, and as per the philosophy, everything is predestinated. We can't create any big change. Uh, everything is predefined. What will happen in future? It was all written already. We can't create any change, and it is regarding no change in future, and a fixed faith. The fifth philosophy of heterodox school is Agyan philosophy, and also known as school of skepticism. And as per this philosophy, uh, knowledge is useless. Um, and who was founder of this philosophy is not known, but the philosophy was we can live life without knowledge, and even if we learn something, then we cannot use it. So this was a Gyan philosophy, and with this I will complete. I will end this lecture here. Thank you.